Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're doing JMA Friday for today's second video. So, as was on a Friday, we're having a detailed look at the weather for month-end with Japanese and CFS B2 models. And I should get on with that for you in a moment, just to say that first. The video says our 6am UK weather forecast, and we've got 10 to 14 down with all of regular features coming up for you very shortly. So please like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much everybody for doing that. I hope you're having a lovely Friday. Right, we're going to start off with the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly from a JMA from the Arctic and the North Pole view down. So this is being North Pole just here. Then we've got the wider Arctic circle around there. And then we've got the mid-latitudes through here. So blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure. Yellow, orange and red to above average heights, which is high pressure. But to break it down into week periods, the first week period will take us from the 12th through to the 19th of April today through to next Friday. Excuse me. So we start off for week 1 with below average heights, low pressure to our north and northeast, above average heights, high pressure to our south and southwest, and winds coming in from a generally west or possibly slightly northwesterly direction. Most of it settled in the north, driest in the south. Week 2 sees a significant change with above average heights building in over the top of the country. It does back towards Scandinavia as well, so it won't necessarily be all that warm. We might be bringing in a little bit of a northeasterly flow with that. But the main thing, of course, is when it's a very strong high pressure, which will bring significantly drier conditions. And then weeks 3 and 4, 26th of April to 10th of May, takes that high pressure into a retrograde and moves it up towards Greenland and Iceland with low pressure underneath it through the Atlantic. Now that would turn the wind into a north or northeasterly. That could be quite chilly for the end of April into the start of May. And if this low pressure starts coming in underneath it, then of course that could bring unsettled conditions, and that would be particularly so to more southern regions. Actually, the north and northwest of this pattern gets the driest of the weather potentially. Right, let's have a look at tropical and mid-latitude view then. We can't see Greenland, Iceland, Arctic, Scandinavia. All those areas are off the chart up here. However, as we've had a look at that view down, we know what's going on, of course. So, a reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly with the above average heights to our west and also to our southwest, below average heights to the northeast. Winds coming in. Excuse me again, everybody, from a generally westerly direction. So the temperature is actually a bit on the cool side, so there's more of a northwesterly sort of slant to that wind, I think. So yes, we see rather cooler than average temperatures up in the north, nearer normal temperatures down in the south. But certainly cooler than we've been experiencing for quite some time. And as far as precipitation is concerned, it's slightly above average for the north and slightly below average down in the south. So generally the south gets the best of the drier, milder weather. The north gets the worst of the cooler, wetter conditions. Week 2 is the 19th to 26th of April. Then we get that strong build of pressure over the country and away to the northeast. The temperature normally goes above average, so perhaps more of a southeasterly slant to the wind, if anything, then. That's 1 to 2 degrees above normal, and it should be dry as well. Yes, we see drier than average conditions there from the 19th to the 26th of April. And then weeks 3 and 4 will be the 26th of April to the 10th of May with high pressure up towards Greenland and Iceland. If you can envisage that Greenland and Iceland will be sort of in that area with low pressure down here, and that probably brings the wind around to more of a northeasterly. Temperature normally is about average, but I reckon it could be a little bit cooler than that in reality. It's average to ever so slightly above. And as far as precipitation is concerned, I think it's more or less average, to be honest. It's not particularly big deviation with that. Again, we would have to watch out for some wetter conditions to come in from the south, though. Right, so let's have a look at CFS B2, see how that compares. Again, these are 500 millibar height anomalies. And we're breaking down into week periods. The first week period taking us up to the 18th of April. The next week is unsettled in the north and northeast anyway. Low pressure up there, but higher pressure is to the south to southwest. Actually, perfect agreement, perfect alignment between the JMA and the CFS there for week 1. They're both very much singing from the same hymn sheet with that one. Week 2, kind of in agreement as well. This is the 19th to the 25th of April, and we find higher pressure then developing close to the country. So the trend, excuse me again, the trend is to high pressure there across the North Atlantic. Slightly different position with the CFS compared to the JMA with that high pressure, because you remember the JMA has high pressure like over and to the northeast of the country, whereas CFS has it over and to the northwest of the country and a trough into Scandinavia. So Scandinavia is actually significantly different, but for the UK and Ireland, they're both going for higher pressure, albeit in a different position. And then week 3 will be the 26th of April to 2nd of May. Low pressure then sinks away into the centre of the Atlantic. High pressure, I should say, sinks away into the centre of the Atlantic, with low pressure setting up over top of the UK and Ireland. So obviously that will be a much more unsettled week. And then finally, week 4 is the 3rd through to the 9th of May. And now we're in complete disagreement, really, between these two models. But CFS has low pressure out to the west, high pressure is to the east, and winds come up, therefore, from a southerly direction. That can actually be quite warm, very warm potentially, with like a southerly flow. Temperature anomalies for week 1, the 12th to the 18th of April. Near anomaly in the north, a little bit above average in the south. Week 2 is the 19th to the 25th of April, and that one has near normal temperatures as well. Week 3 goes a little bit cooler, though, actually slightly below average there from the 26th of April to 2nd of May for temperatures. And then finally, week 4 is going to be the 3rd to the 9th of May, slightly above average. So pretty much a roller coaster, you know, a little bit up and down for temperatures, depending on the position of the area of high pressure. And then finally, for precipitation, week 1 is the 12th to the 18th of April. Driving average to our south-southwest, western average to our north and northeast. Week 2 is the 19th to 25th of April. Already quite a weak signal, but if anything, perhaps a little bit on the drier side, especially to the north and northwest. Week 3, precipitation. We're losing a signal now, but could be perhaps a bit more unsettled. And then finally, week 4 is the 3rd to the 9th of May, and that one also potentially hinting at something slightly on the unsettled side. So, quite a discrepancy between the two bars when we get to weeks 3 and 4 in terms of the placement of the area of high pressure. But for weeks 1 and 2, pretty good agreement. Looks like we're going to be starting off on a relatively anticyclonic note, really, over the next couple of weeks, especially so for the south, and then week 2 in all areas. Could be a bit on the cool side, depending on the position of that ridge, and then it gets a little bit more uncertain as we move towards May, but nothing overly dramatic showing up here with JMA Friday for this week. That was just a snapshot of what the two models are showing, so they could look completely different when we look at them again on Friday next week, when the next JMA Friday. Any forecast on 5-7 days comes with big health warnings and large pictures of salt attached. Right, we're going to be back a little bit later on. We 10 to 14 there, come back for that later. But JMA Friday for this week, though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.